What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weston Wednesdays, where we get straight to the point. Starting with the outsole on this Brooks running shoe. You can see we have a nice arrow print pattern from heel to toe. The rubber on this outsole is pretty nice. I think this is going to be a nice durable outsole for anybody that likes to run on multiple surfaces. And I think for the long haul, it'll do a good job and it'll last for a while. I really like the pattern too, because it's going to give you that energy return, moving straight ahead, what runners want. Now as we move on up to the midsole, on this Brooks running shoe, their DNA, amp, energy return, midsole on this Levitate is nice. I like it. I really do like it. I think there's a nice return when you're using it, when you're running on it. I'm trying to compare it to some other shoes or other brands, but it's kind of one of its own. It does have some flexibility, which is nice as well. The only thing that I think is a knock on it is I feel like it's a little heavy. I do think there are lighter options out there in the running world, but the return on this is really nice. I think you will be happy with how it feels underfoot. So that's the Levitate, the DNA, amp, energy return, midsole. It's in a grayish, almost reflective metallic color, which is really cool compared to what the color is on the upper. So speaking of upper, let's move on up to the upper. The upper on this Brooks running Levitate StealthFit 5 is just that. It's StealthFit because the shoe is basically it's all knit. So there's two different styles of knits. Let's talk about the toe box. Knit is a little bit less constrictive, I guess you could say. There's a little bit more mobility and flexibility in that area. That area actually starts in the toe box and it runs where the tongue is, because this is basically it's a one booty construction. It's a full sock feel that runs from toe box through the toe and then back to the heel collar. All right, so around the midsole, around the midfoot on the lateral and medial side, and then the mud guard, which you would call on the running shoe. It's a different type of knit material. In the color, you can see it's like a speckled gray, navy blue. That's a little bit more constrictive for your support that you would need when you're running, lateral support. You can feel it too, it's nice. It's a little bit more sturdy on those areas as opposed to the dark navy blue area on the toe box and the collar. A little bit less restrictive to where you can have a little bit more movement. As we get back to the collar or the heel, you have a nice little internal heel counter, and it's padded inside the collar, which is nice when your foot is in the shoe. And then you have these cool little speckled designs that are a little rigid on the heel. I don't know what there's no functionality of that, it's just the looks. So and then you have your flat laces that are a little bit flexible, which go really well on the upper. And then, yeah, I mean, the upper is nice. Like I said, it's knit. I'm a huge knit guy, so I like the way that looks. My only knock to that too is it is a little bit there is a little bit too much movement when your foot is in the shoe, for me at least, when I'm actually using the shoe. So as far as that's concerned, the branding, they put a Brooks logo on the medial and lateral side on the midfoot. Then you have your Levitate logo here on the midsole, the StealthFit on the heel collar, and then you have the Levitate 5 logo on the tongue. All right, now as far as the fit, I touched on it a little bit with the knit. I went true to size with this. There is movement in the actual toe box, all right, which I don't like. My foot is a little bit narrow, so there's a little bit more movement than I would have liked because that knit is very less constrictive, I guess you could say. It's not as tight. So if you're a narrow footer and this is a shoe that you're looking at getting, you might want to go half a size down. The cool thing about Brooks running, if you check out their website, I really do appreciate the way that they constructed it, because there's a lot of different options that you can choose depending on what type of foot you have. Narrow foot, wide foot, you know, that type of feel of a runner. If you want it more constrictive, tight, low to the ground running, there's a bunch of different options, like I said, that you can select to find your specific style of running shoe, which is cool. So I tried to do that with these. Didn't come out, like I said, there's some pros and some cons about it that I liked. But overall, not too bad. So as far as the pricing's $150 for these shoes. Overall, the shoe, in my opinion, like I said, there's some pros and cons that I like about it. I wouldn't spend $150 on these shoes if I had an option to get them again. This would probably be the only time I get them, just because, like I said, there are some things I like and some things that I don't like. Like I said, check them out on Brooks Running. There's a ton of different options. Really cool website though. So I don't normally do this, but when I do, I share with you. I'm out of here. Peace.